Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
We're back. This is a nice little kind of epilogue follow-up. This is Love is Blind season 2 after the altar. So basically the premise is that they go and take the couples, some that were together and then some of the kind of the individuals still in the periphery, and they check in on them, see what they're doing. They all live in Chicago. So it's like, hey, like let's see what's going on with them. Before we dive into details, we'll just give you our general thoughts. Better than I thought. Wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. Um, I think it was too short. Like for like the developments that occur in the epilogue that are like 6 seconds long at the end of the last episode, like all of this was leading somewhere and we don't get to see where it's leading. And I think that's my biggest criticism. But I did think there was actual genuine drama that made me want to watch all three in a row. So Bri, your thoughts.
No, I agree with you. Like I think that like 6 episodes have been nice
Yeah.
because like one of them was like 50 and then one was like 30, like high 30s.
Yeah,
So
they were
like
random too.
yeah, because I just felt like it was just like we went to a party and it was done. Like I would have liked to see more of like a shift or like a schism between like Jared and what's her name again? Ayana.
Ayana.
And just because I didn't know they broke up. I only knew that Danielle and
Nick.
our friend broke up.
Yeah. Our boy. We were very nice about doing
Blindfold
this.
man.
We were very nice about during the season and never had any criticisms of. It's so fun. It's funny. I have to go back and watch our reviews. I forget even like what my Uber impressions were at the time of them, if they're different than now. Just to run down quickly who we got to kind of see. We saw Deepti, we saw Kyle, Natalie, Shane, Shanae, Sal, Jesse, Mal, Danielle, Nick, Ayana, and Jarrett. Really the only cast member missing. And I think a real lost opportunity here. No Shake. I know they don't like him. I know he's a piece of shit. Like, I get it. Like, I know he said some misogynistic and he's called them ugly and this, but like, throw him to the Lions Den then, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think he
Yeah.
said no? Maybe.
Yeah, he either might have said no because he knew he would just get killed, or the production was like, we can't risk it.
Yeah, it's 50-50 either. I could see him just like saying no to them too, but I also feel like that gotta be raring for more attention at a fight. So it's
Mhm.
tough. Unless his like vet business is like stop it.
It's booming.
Or they just tell him to stop it because you're making us look bad.
Right. That's also good. True. Not enough Shane. As much as I don't like Shane,
Oh
he's not in it
yeah.
enough, man.
I'm
Like
not like the hair though this time, bud.
with his little, he looks like you're like a soccer player with that
Yeah, he
little.
did, but like not a good one.
He
He
just
looks like a guy playing men's league
he's always
soccer
like,
in like Chester
you notice
County.
he's always like talking like this, like
Right.
he's
Right.
like he's like 15% turned to a werewolf.
People think he's like, yeah, people were saying he was like on drugs. Like, I think he's just got rabies or something. Like, he's just rabid. And he also may be on drugs. We don't know.
I mean, he's got something going on. I don't know. He's not
I don't know.
sleeping, or he just loves coffee. I don't know.
His was a weird story. I don't really want to talk about the Shanae stuff so much, but
No.
honestly, again, if anything, now, if you look at all of this, and I wrote this down, there's surprising amount of through lines. I mean, I have one, two, three, four, five distinct storylines that they kind of wove throughout these 3 episodes. But the biggest takeaway I have on my notes is that Natalie is the worst, dude. The
She's
worst.
just hanging on, and but I just don't know why because he's not great. I don't get it.
She's playing both sides of it. And I said it to Emily. We were watching it, and before that it came up later on with like Shane and Shanae, I'm like, she's just so worried about coming off correct and that she
Mm,
did exactly the right thing, but she gave him a chance. But that at that moment it is done. But if it's done, you're still talking about it. It's
right.
all she
Yeah.
talked about. She like literally made an entire. I mean, I knew it was her birthday party, but like you obviously knew she was invited. It's not really your birthday party. Like Netflix, but got that house. Like I don't hear that
Yeah,
BS.
exactly. Like
Ugh.
it was like a Buckhead Shore pre like the first few episodes. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, except that actually is Parker's house from all the
Yeah.
crap we gave him. That literally is his house. Like,
Right. But just like the whole like what happened, like an ex came, like just
yeah.
like or like drama for two girlfriends. It's just very
But the
similar.
ex didn't come. That's the thing. Like, if Shane
Yeah.
had rolled in, I think then she could have felt awkward. It was just the girl. It's like the
Mm.
woman's engaged. Like, it's tough. Like, that's on you. Like, I don't. Do
They
you
all
think
have
the DMs
quick
are
trigger
real?
fingers on getting saying yes to engagements.
Do you think the
Also,
DMs are real?
the what?
Like the whole thing, like the Instagram DMs. Do you think there were actual questionable DMs, or do you think she was like just grasping at straws?
No, I think there were.
Me
I
too.
don't really
I
trust.
100% think it was real.
I don't trust Shanae. I mean, if it's funny
He
for someone
definitely
who's
was
like,
flirting with her. They unsent messages.
yeah, like she for someone who's like really into God, I'm surprised at her like some of the stuff that she does
Yeah,
like that.
usually the crazies at that point who are still into God, whatever, will get canceled. They're usually like the born agains, though. Like the ones who used to be
Yeah.
crazy chicks, but then they don't drink and stuff anymore. Like they still like she still drinks and shit. You know what I mean? So it's not like
Hmm.
she's not some pious person. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe that. Like, oh, there's no messages, and like just like them at that abandoned restaurant or whatever. Like their guy, it looks like a diner.
Yeah, it literally like I own a restaurant. Like, cool, dude, whatever. Like it could be a pizza place for Christ's sake. Like, really.
Yeah.
Uh other a major through line that I think was kind of prominent throughout the 3 episodes was Deep D and Kyle's will they, won't they? That basically seems like we were saying before the show, like they've been together for months, probably, right? By the time they
Mm.
recorded this thing, it was so fake that you could try to actually tell people they weren't together.
Yeah, like oh, let's save it for the show, and it's like right at the end too. It just could it was just, it's just boring.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
yeah,
But good for them if they're together still. I don't know. Didn't look into it, but hey, like I'm happy that the show worked for 2 people, even though they weren't originally together. Um, we talked about Natalie, Shane, and Shanae. The Sal, Jesse, and Mal stuff. So the Sal and Mal are the ones I cared the least about.
yeah, they're just like not like uneventful, and I guess like the only thing that was eventful are things we found out what was going on in that car.
Yeah, so apparently, like, and he kept it a secret. And I also kind of, the more I think about it, that guy was kind of soft. So I really feel
Yeah,
like she probably
100%.
was just like hanging out with her friends
Yep.
because her like marriage was miserable, and God forbid she was having fun one day and she was with friends and she
I
just kind of
agree.
lost track of time. And they're all there, probably in the same downtown area, and like whatever it happens. Like it just seemed like that's something you could have totally shared.
Yeah,
Like
like even his sisters were like kind of alluded like you need to stand up for yourself.
yeah, dude, like that's not something to hold and like burn a torch over. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
You
But
just ask her like, hey, well, who was that? And like she would because they production brought it up to her. Her
she
answer
called him
was
like a
fun.
bitch, like
Yeah,
at the end. Like she's like, what?
yeah.
Wow.
I
And you can see
get
her
it.
like the more she's thinking about it, she's like,
Yeah,
this what? Like, I
yeah. It
hate
was
this
bad.
guy. Like,
Yeah, it's he's lame.
um, speaking of lame and speaking of lame, Danielle and Nick. That like they're what's interesting though is like not for nothing and like during the season there was a lot of reasons of like why they wouldn't be together, but they didn't show any fighting or any issues with them, and it's like up they broke up.
Do we know why they broke up?
Usually because people don't like each other.
The
I,
parties,
I
the costume party stopped
the
and ran
costume
out of
party
costumes.
stopped. Danielle and Nick, Love is Blind, and let's just see. We'll see. We'll pull it up as we talk about the next one, which was my favorite one, Ayanna and Jarrett,
Yeah,
because it's just so damn pure. Because Jarrett just can't stop partying until 4 a.m. Just can't do it. Can't not in him, bro.
dude, it sounds like she's staying out till like one or two with him too. Like he just stays up till the club closes.
He closes down the club. And what you come to realize, like throughout the 3 episodes, is it starts off like it's all his friends, and then you start to slowly realize he's the ringleader, and that like he could just put a stop to it at any time, and
Yeah,
he's
right.
the one that makes them do all this. And it's like, cuz just like they weren't even living together.
Yeah, I know. The parents I thought gave pretty good advice. Like just if your friends are your friends, they'll hang. You don't need to stay out till 4 to hang out with your friends.
I,
Get
I
an
just
Xbox, dog.
I just think he like also to be fair, like I'm not excusing his behavior at all, but like she
She's an
seemed like
enabler.
she gave up so
Yeah.
quick too.
Mhm.
Like before even the parents dinner, you could tell she was already done, and then she was just doing it because they were like, "Yeah, you shouldn't quit either." And you basically
Right.
like you
I
could see
agree.
her be like, ugh, like thought that they were just gonna rail in on him, and that was
Mhm.
it, and that wasn't the case. So I was glad to see that. I'm looking. It just sounds like they just weren't that happy. Like it just they just maybe it was just I could just see him just probably one day going to her because it seems like all the stuff's about her. Like
Yes. Hey,
he dumped her. He definitely left her. He's like, look, I don't want to have. He probably was just like, I don't want to have kids with you, and like, this is the next stage of my life, and I just don't
and
think this
the
is.
family also looked a little like screws loose too.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't. And I mean, how many like? getting fed blindfold. I mean,
Oh my god, dude! I said to Emily, never in a million years would I let you do that. Oh my god.
it just wasn't. It was just so random. Like it was like grocery store sushi.
Oh yeah, and also you don't like give someone like sashimi as like their first sushi blind, like Jesus, and
Yeah,
then like she's soaking it in the soy sauce, and I'm like,
yeah,
you're giving him a horrible experience right
yeah.
now,
I
like
know.
a little salty to add. Not I was going nuts. I'm
As
not
a
even a huge
sushi
sushi.
lover, I saw a lot of red flags
Well,
with
see,
the
I'm not even a
order.
huge sushi guy, but I'm that guy who like learned to like be able to have enough things where I could go and not be like just like the outlier. You know what I mean? But you find the safe things. She just like set him up for failure.
Yeah, give start them off with like a shrimp tempura roll. Like it's
Yeah.
cooked. Like it's not. It's the so basic. Then give them like maybe a tuna with avocado. Like you can't just like you said. You can't go sashimi. You can't.
Just, this guy's ruined. He'll
And
never.
especially not from a grocery store.
I was dying. Like he's like the most extreme version of me in that respect, where he just like nothing, and I'm like, I'll have anything and find a way to make it like doable. Like, but that guy was just like, but also in the same respect, I get his thing. He's like, look, who cares? This is what I like. Leave me
Yeah, yep,
alone.
no,
I'm
that's
not a
true.
bad guy. I don't drink. He's like, I don't party. He's like, so if I'm a picky eater, like tough. I can't help it. You used to be like a lard and food's still a thing for you. He's like, it's not for me. So he's like, kick rocks. And she was just like,
He
did
doesn't
not like
drink.
that. No, I mean, I'm sure he doesn't seem like a drunk to me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
He doesn't seem like somebody that's out at the bars and
he's
like
afraid of water. Can't be.
outer space,
I mean, it's a. What would you what should you be more afraid of, the ocean or space?
ocean. It's way more tangible for us. Like, I'm not going to end up in outer space. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like you could go on a nice little fishing thing, and then a freak thing can happen, and you're screwed. The ocean is, if you let that freak you out, it can be very freaky. Like being out in the middle
yeah.
of
Just you
nowhere.
don't know how deep it is.
That's Emily said that. That was
Yeah,
like she's like the deepness freaks me out.
yeah.
Overall, I thought it was a good epilogue. I just wish we got to see the actual breakups. I'm sorry. It's as shitty
Same.
as that sounds. I
Mhm.
wanted to see them the actual aftermath of the breakups and everything like that. So guess not. There is definitely going to be a Love Is Blind season 3. It's got to be coming sooner than. Oh
I
no, it is coming October. We just
Yeah, no, this I actually really like this because it kind of gets like the people like us especially like ramp back up into the
yeah,
show.
gets interest like kind of started for everybody. Obviously we'll have these posted in the social groups, everything Twitter. Check out our TikTok as well, posting funny clips. And it's been down the last few weeks, but there really hasn't been as much on. But starting this week, there's a million things. We have the Bachelorette finale. We have 4 shows on Wednesday. We have Amazing Race, Survivor, Masked Singer, and the beginning of the Challenge doc on Paramount Plus. Jersey Shore on Thursday as well. The Big Brother finale Sunday. So Brett and Brian have been doing an awesome job covering that. So we'll get a few more episodes out to cover the end of the season. And then look out, the challenge comes back October 12th. And I mean, we just got a ton of Paradise next week. 2 nights of
And
Paradise next week.
Bill, I have two prospects I need to talk to you off air. I think one of
Okay.
them actually is on Wednesday.
Everything falls on Wednesday. We'll figure it out, guys. But look, we'll cover it. We'll drop them whatever days. We might drop 4 episodes on Thursdays, but like whatever. Everyone will get to see their video of choice. But for myself, Brian, thank you. Peace.